Okay, the purpose of this training tool is to convey the kinds of footage that we want during high school football games, also positioning, where to stand, angles, and how to properly use things like zooming, set up your interview shots, and produce the proper kinds of audio. Okay, so the first place we'll start is with getting the proper footage. That starts with where you're standing. Notice how the videographer is standing in the end zone or in the corner of the end zone and got lucky. The player ran right to the videographer. Again, notice where the clip started. Videographer was focused on the quarterback, which is where every play, of course, is going to start in high school football. Got the snap, the handoff, and then followed the play by zooming out. However, was lucky in that the player was running directly at the camera. Okay, so you're not always going to get that lucky. The player isn't always going to run right at you. But let's take a look at this play. Notice how the videographer is standing on the sideline. Positioning is everything. Notice how the videographers in all of our clips are always standing facing the play and the action, facing the quarterback, so you can catch the play coming at you. You never want to be standing behind the line of scrimmage, because then all you're going to catch is everybody's backside. So here we have the play action fake, the quarterback rolls out, the videographer follows him, catches the player catching the pass, and then continues following the play all the way through the tackle to the sideline. That was a solid clip from start to finish. Okay, something that first-time sports videographers do is that they follow the ball during the game, and it can become very difficult to watch that kind of video. This is a great example of the videographer being patient, zooming out, watch the zoom out, and allows the play to happen directly in front of him. Gets the player catching the ball and follows the player all the way through the action. Again, gets the snap, doesn't follow the ball, but just zooms out and allows the viewer to get a wider shot of what's going on in front of him. Here are a few more good examples of just allowing the play to happen in front of you. Notice how the shooter was standing way back on the other side of the field but still facing the play, and allowed the play to develop in front of him. Got the pass right to the player, zoomed out, and allowed the player to come right to them. Here, same thing on the next play. Just was really in the right position, zoomed out, and followed the play all the way through. One thing to mention that we really like to see in our packages in high school sports, notice here at the end of the play, the player celebrating. Make sure you don't just, stop recording once the score happens. Follow the play, follow the action afterwards, follow the celebration. That's what makes high school sports unique. Here's another really good example of the videographer. Could have just turned the camera off right there, but look, here's some of the best stuff. The celebration afterwards with all of his teammates. Again, that's what high school sports is really all about. Speaking of that, here's some other stuff I really want you guys to take a look at trying to get at games. Look at all these different shots that weren't even part of the game, but you've got players running out of the tunnel, you've got flags and banners and people using signs and fans celebrating, mascots and more. These are the things that make high school sports unique. I'd really like to see these things in your footage, in your packages. Of course, huddles like this with coaches, celebrations on the sidelines, players really getting into it and active. These are the things that we really like to see from our high school sports packages. And of course, as we start to get later into the season, there will be celebrations and trophy presentations. These are things that you really want to try to get inside the huddle to be a part of, and to get that cool, unique footage that really sets us apart. Almost or just as important as your game footage are your interviews afterwards, and setting those up are extremely important. After the game, you'll approach the players, you'll pull them aside, you'll ask a few players to stay on the field with you, and then one by one, you'll interview those players to get the best possible sound bites that you can get. Notice how the player is positioned here. We can see the jersey all the way up to the top of his head. Notice how the player is talking off camera to the videographer. We never want the player looking into the camera. We always want the player looking off camera. Now, notice how we position the player. That's because we want to be able to use a lower third identifier. Here's a bad interview shot. we're getting the side of the coach's face. That's not going to allow us a great opportunity to show our viewers who this person is, and it's not going to allow us to identify them very well. Remember, you'll want to try to get a one-on-one interview anyway, because you want to be able to mic up your subject. You want to be able to use your audio equipment. Again, here's a bad interview shot. We can't really see who we're interviewing. This is a great interview shot, talking off camera and giving us some good audio. Again, here's another good interview shot. We've got the whole player in with a jersey identifying them.